Yo, so Boosie has some words about the Jeffrey Dahmer series that came out.
I'm gonna say how I feel.
Did you watch it to know?
I watched the first episode.
Damn, it's back from the first episode.
I got the tweet after the first episode. What the did I just watch? Really? This what we gonna get on TV and woo about? And I didn't like that, bro. Like, you know.
And to be clear, he's talking about the gruesome way in which these people were murdered. Now, stay with me because the key word is murder. And I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to let him finish, though.
Everybody sitting me. I ran to Netflix, too. My stupid ass ran to Netflix, too.
I ain't watching.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, come on, bro. Compensate these people, fam.
Yeah, that's
You know, Netflix got enough money to say, this whole movie go to all these victims' family.
That's true. Damn,
You already got to subscribe.
I ain't looking at it like that. I ain't looking at it like that. Damn.
So rightfully so, Boosie is mad that everybody, we making a whole hoopla about this Jeffrey Dahmer thing. And we went out and watched it. And I'm guilty too. I went out and watched it, but I found out that the families didn't get compensated. And I'm mad just as well as Boosie is. But let me ask you this, Boosie. Why aren't we as mad when we watch something like VMF, right? A lot of murders happen with that. The key word, as I said earlier, is murder. It's murder nonetheless. Why aren't we as mad when we hear Pusha T giving shout outs to El Chapo? A bunch of El Chapo's murders were just as gruesome. I'm not going to say worse, but I'm sure they were up there with Dahmer's, you know what I'm saying? Rick Ross, I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover. We hear these things in our music all the time. We don't think nothing's wrong with it. White folk ain't going to give you a pass because you programmed us to be like this over years of slavery that you made us fight each other. Now we're doing it for free. And it shows that the programming has worked. But then we watch something like Jeffrey Dahmer thing and be like, oh, that's sick. It's crazy. Is it not just as sick for us to keep perpetuating, Boosie, you do this all the time in your music, the same murderous, killing behavior disorders that we have, especially upon our own people. And this is why they push it as much, because if we were to be talking about these murderous things geared towards certain communities that we know are touchy, then we would automatically be shut down for it. We know these communities. One of the communities was the one that Nick Cannon had a problem with. Another one of these communities is one that Dave Chappelle had a problem with. It's always a problem if we were to write music and make songs of disdain and murder and terrible natured things towards these certain groups. But when it's upon us, there's no problem. They push it out as fast as running water comes out of the faucet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets on board. Every race is singing the words. We're all chanting and singing it. We're egging them on to sing it. Concert with Roddy Ricch get a crowd for the white folks saying Negro as much as they want to. I'm just saying, we have to re-examine what we're doing here. Because do I agree with Boosie? Yes. Them families, I was mad that in the series that they got shut down as far as them trying to be able to split the profits of the book that was going to be put out and any other thing that was going to be put out that was going to monetize the situation and keep dragging these families through that. It's traumatizing. It's terrible to say, hey, we're not going to pay you for this, but we're going to keep on, because there's been numerous shows and documentaries about the Dahmer situation where they keep drudging this up. Now, one thing I did appreciate about the series was that I didn't know it was done in an apartment. You know, said some of the killings were done in an apartment. I didn't know that this black woman had been trying to alert the authorities for so long. And it brings up so many things about racial injustice and then the homophobic attitude that the police had against the young man, which is why they didn't investigate further into the situation, because Jeffrey said it was his boyfriend, and also because it was a black woman calling the police to investigate them. You know, it dredges up a whole lot of injustice type of situations. And it's terrible that these families have to keep enduring this with no compensation because they lost the lawsuit, saying that they would be receiving monetary compensation for anything that they would put out to profit upon this case. And to this day, you have companies like Netflix who are taking full advantage of that and not sending them a penny. Not only not sending them a penny, but not contacting them to let them be a part of the process if they would like to be so, not allowing their input, not asking if they want to be a part of this, not asking if they want to rehash that whole story again. I'm sure none of them want to keep rehashing this, but I'm sure if they might not be doing as well, I'm sure they would feel better about it to get compensated for it. And I feel the same way about us in the black community. We have to look at the whole way that our brains are wired, because we can look at that and say it's sick. And yes, he was over the top, bro. He was putting bodies in vats of acid right in his bedroom, cooking them and eating them. He was over the top with it. Let's be clear about that. But the key word, as I said earlier, is murder. It's murder nonetheless. Is it not still traumatizing the victims that have suffered from El Chapo, that Pusha T keeps, mentioning in his drug raps? Is it not still traumatizing to the people that were allegedly killed by Larry Hoover or Big Meech and the BMF crew? You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of history. We watch BMF and we love it. We want to see what happened, what all this, that, and the other. But the thing is, we got to tweak our brain to say, yo, why are we still perpetuating this sickness? Why is it okay for us to watch these gangster things go on in our community, us killing each other, not caring about the victims? You know what I'm saying? Same way everybody gets up on social media and yells free Young Thug and Young Gunner and all of this, but they disregard some of the things he allegedly did and talked about. He was talking about shooting at somebody's mama, blatantly on the track. We co-signing that? We talking about free this guy? It's a problem, man. That's a problem for us to keep viewing this as normal, to keep viewing the genocide of our own people as normal. But when we see other people do things, it's sick, or we shouldn't be, or they should be compensated. Where's our compensation? Where's our people compensation? Because the music industry is, as a whole, using us as black men and black women to push out a narrative of gangster rap, shooting each other in the face, beef at all times, this gang against that gang, everybody beefing, everybody cripping in blood and this, that, and the other, right? They shop this to us in droves, chicks twerking, but yet the only thing we get in return as far as monetary compensation is artists who have been run through the ringer and are very unhappy about what they receive monetarily in lieu of what they should have got for doing this whole dance. A lot of times they end up broke, busted, and disgusted, right? While the people that are listening to this are perpetuating the things that they're talking about. It's the people that's in the streets every day that don't got the money that y'all got, that's out here killing and shooting and stabbing each other in the face and going to jail for it, and then giving like slave labor type of work in the jail to then perpetuate the people that are getting fed off us in the prison system. And also the people that are at the tops of these music companies. It's a cycle that we can't seem to see. They keep geeking up. The record companies keep signing up the next dude that's willing to talk all this gangster stuff. He gets shot. They got insurance on him. They make money off him as far as dying, as far as the insurance. They make money off him as far as the janky leg loan that they gave him, which is what y'all call a record deal. They make money off the 360 deal that they gave him, which includes his touring, his merch, his everything around that he could possibly get money off. They getting it. And it's a whole cycle. Then the other people are doing it. They going to jail. But yet we don't see it. Yet do we think it's sick? It's all sick to me. I understand it, though. I love some of the music. I love the TV shows, this, that, and other. But I am figuring out that we got to unplug from this. It's something wrong with us that we keep liking this and thinking nothing wrong with it. We should view it the way that Boosie viewed this Jeffrey Dahmer thing. And we should be just as outraged when it's us. And while it was mostly us, it was because Jeffrey was killing in proximity. When he was in a different proximity, he killed white folks too. Which gives insight on why we kill black on black, because it's proximity. But either way, we got to be just as outraged on the crime that we're committing against each other. We should be just as offended about the gangster stuff that we doing and perpetuating in these streets. Put some in the comments. Let me know what you think or what you don't think.